That $1 million will not bring inner peace, happiness.
I used to think spirituality was useless. I blamed everyone for my problems. I lived every day without a purpose. But now I'm living fully through the teachings of the Dalai Lama. Through slaving away at my laptop, studying the life and wisdom of the Dalai Lama, I uncovered a simple 3-step system he uses to guide himself toward a life of meaning and fulfillment. So if you're ready to live fully, just like the Dalai Lama, follow along. This journey might just change your life. So just this week, I found myself impulsively searching random things on Google. Whether it be going onto ChatGPT and debating with it about whether or not morality is objective, or whether it is going to forum pages looking at what Thai women looked for in men. And yes, I know it's cringe, but don't worry bro, because I did suffer the consequences. I felt this feeling of disgust. I was like, what am I doing impulsively searching random things on Google when I could be doing something better? I not only wasted my time, but I also started to water the negative seeds inside of my mind instead of the positive ones. And so, in that disturbed and restless mind state, I tried to fix my life. But there was one problem. The more that I tried to fix my shit, the more that I tried to fix my life, the more that I succumbed to this impulsive, restless state. And this is why the first step of the Dalai Lama is to first quiet the mind. Because before I fixed my life, the first thing that I had to do was to first calm my restless mind. Because otherwise, trying to fix my shit would result in me succumbing to more shit. Because my mind is already shit. And if you can relate, if you've ever been in this restless seeking situation where you can't sit down, you can't stay still, you have to keep on doing things in order to stay active, in order to keep your mind up. You may notice that trying to fix the state, trying to become peaceful, will not actually work. Because your mind is spread in 1,000 different directions. And trying to keep peaceful is just going to make it worse. So according to the Dalai Lama, what is the solution? He suggests to ground yourself in your in and out breathing before trying to fix your shit.
So this practice, I think you can do, particularly when your mind a little bit sort of disturbed or the turbulence, right? Agitated. Then completely forget about the causes and just as a concentrated breathing and do that. That could be something like tranquilizer. The disturbed mind somehow neutralize.
In the late 17th century, the Puritan community of Salem, Massachusetts, was governed by a strict moral and religious framework. This framework was intended to preserve order and virtue in the community, but instead it became a set of rules who punished everybody who did not follow. And the core of the problem lay in the belief that any misfortune, be it illness, failed crops, or accidents, was a manifestation of supernatural forces, specifically the work of witches. This worldview created a fertile ground for fear, paranoia, and scapegoating. And the community's laws weren't much better because it was easy to convict people without solid proof or evidence. Say for example, I was sleeping and I dreamt of you stealing the cows in my backyard. Just because of that dream, I can report you to the authorities and you can get executed. This obsession with trying to root out sin overpowered basic human morality like empathy and reason. Neighbors turned against neighbors. Accusations were made because of flimsy or fake evidence. And you might think, but the people can easily revolt. But no, because of their revolt, the fear of being accused by one of their neighbors forced many to stop revolting and to just join the hysteria. Even Rebecca Nurse, who was an old woman known for her kindness, was convicted and hanged, despite widespread doubt about her guilt, all because a few people saw her spirit harming others, whatever that means. You see, this is the sort of thing that happens when morality is built on law instead of inner wisdom. I believe that the townspeople were more concerned with adhering to these moral principles than with understanding the deeper truths of human nature and actually being moral themselves. This is why the second truth of the Dalai Lama is to cultivate true compassion. And it's compassion not because of the law or because of some moral standard, not because of some religious principle, but compassion based on your own inner wisdom and understanding. Think about it. If there was no law to stop you from cannibalism, if there was no law to stop you from stealing from others, would you still steal from others? There was no law. Would you still do it? The Dalai Lama said, for true happiness to come about, we need a calm mind. And such peace of mind is brought about only by a compassionate attitude. So, according to the Dalai Lama, How do we cultivate true compassion? First, the Dalai Lama talks about intention. You can have a scowl on your face or smile at somebody, but if your intention is to do harm, you will not have the peace of mind that comes from true compassion. Second, he says that true compassion comes not only when you look at the point of view of yourself, but when you look at the point of view of others and do what's best for them, not for you, even if they are your enemy. He writes in his book, The Compassionate Life, compassion is the wish for another being to be free from suffering. And lastly, it's to be joyful and to remember your mortality. Starting from now, you can make a vow to try and remind yourself to enjoy each moment because you know that you won't live forever. And with that, you make the decision to be compassionate each and every day. Because would you rather live a life, live your only life, with a contribution to the world, which is the only thing, one of the only things that we leave on this earth? Or would you rather take everything for yourselves? And that everything, after you pass away, will eventually pass away too. And naturally, if we are always reminded of our mortality, compassion will arise.
If we practice compassion, Buddha will support us. I'm not talking that. If we are a more compassionate person, I get more benefit. I will be more happier person. That's the point.
This next step is by far one of the most important because it's also one of the most neglected. And that is to embrace universal responsibility. Imagine a boat with a team of rowers, each working together at perfect sync. The sound of paddles hitting the water is steady and smooth. You can smell the aroma of the water, just like the water right here. As they row, the boat moves effortlessly forward. But then one rower stops. The others keep rowing, but it's harder now. And the missing effort throws off the balance, and the journey becomes much tougher for everyone. Now, just like rowing a boat, if even one person doesn't contribute to the benefit of all, the entire group's progress slows down. Let's say we take all of the people in humanity, and one person does not contribute to the world. Everybody else is contributing. They're making scientific innovations. They're making all of these medical explorations. But one person isn't doing the work. Even if it's just one person, if that one person doesn't do the work, then the entire group will slow down because that one person isn't doing the work. The group would be much faster if this person joined in and did the work with them. That way, everybody on this earth has a role to contribute to humanity. The Dalai Lama says, when we talk about global crisis or a crisis of humanity, we cannot blame a few politicians, a few fanatics, or a few troublemakers. The whole of humanity has a responsibility because it is our business, human business. I call this a sense of universal responsibility. That is a crucial point. And the more people take up universal responsibility, the more rowers we have to get our boat up and moving. So as individuals, how do we cultivate universal responsibility? Well, right now, we might not be contributing to anything. So even if we contribute just a tiny little bit of our vitality and energy that we have, our youthful spirit, to the development of the world, we are still able to help people. We are still able to become one more rower of the boat. The boat will get a little more faster than before. So looking at it, what tools do we have to contribute to the world? Well, look at your hands, look at your skills, look at your health, look at your intellect, look at your energy. But most of all, look at this boundless potential of a human being that you were born with. My impact on the world may be small at first, but in some way, I'm still rowing the boat, even if it's just a little bit, because the boat will still row faster than without me. And over time, I can make my rows bigger and bigger and big, even leading by example and inspiring others to take up universal responsibility too. Telling our dear friends to row the boat harder and harder, motivating and inspiring them, which is actually what I'm doing right now with this channel, I hope. Now, a lot of people these days are drained and restless, like they want to run away from life itself. But what we want to do is be exuberant and be joyful, because we have been given a life, and you should notice that, and we should all notice that. And this life we can use to contribute to the world, even if it's just you, even if it's just me. So many people to contribute to. We are born with the seeds to grow freshness and vitality and energy and contribution. So please use that. So that was how to live fully like the Dalai Lama. If that isn't testament to the power of Buddha's teaching, I don't know what is. Speaking of the Buddha, click on this video right now to learn the Buddha's secret of improving 1% each day. As always, live in the now, because tomorrow may never come.